There is a storyline brewing that involves Wayne Gretzky and Republican President Donald Trump.
Gretzky has spent time at U.S. President Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. He had a prime seat at the inauguration. Trump has even floated Gretzky should run for Prime Minister of Canada, soon to be Governor of Canada. A nod to Trump's desire to make Canada the 51st state.
Let's pause here. What really struck the ire of so many Canadians was this image. Wayne Gretzky emerged from the American side of the two benches. He gave a thumbs up to the Americans and represented Canada as an honorary captain. He said nothing about Donald Trump's 51st state remarks.
I think by taking this job, by accepting being an honorary captain for the biggest Canadian hockey game on the men's side in well over 10 years, I think at that point, you probably do owe people a bit of an explanation. Not only that, but Donald Trump has said to Wayne Gretzky that he wants him to be the governor of the 51st state, right? Wayne Gretzky is a sainted figure in this country for good reason. He's the greatest hockey player in the sport that we care the most about. He has conducted himself for a lot of his life with real honor and grace. But how close he is to Donald Trump at this moment, and him being chosen as an honorary captain for this event, those two things didn't add up for me. It almost felt like a phantom limb response. Do you know what I mean? Like this was Canada picking its greatest hockey player for the biggest game. But I don't think right now that Wayne Gretzky has as unblemished a spot in the Canadian imagination as he used to have. And I think he would really do well to show a little more, or at least explain a little more as to why he's doing this, as to where he stands on the possibility that this country, under one of his friends, on the direction of one of his friends, could cease to exist.
Toronto sports columnist Bruce Arthur, who is also a fantastic follow on social media, gave his insights. Many in Canada had one super simple question. Why aren't you saying anything?
The silence from Wayne Gretzky, I think, is disappointing for a lot of hockey fans. These players are going to have their politics, but when it's Wayne Gretzky and he's supporting Donald Trump in this way publicly, that's where it gets disappointing because he's held to such a higher standard.
Especially in Edmonton.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you. Another moment many Canadians noticed was this. The American captain wore a Team USA hockey jersey. Gretzky didn't wear a Team Canada sweater. Just a suit and tie. The critics were out in full force. I really believe that, like everyone else, Wayne Gretzky is entitled to support whomever he wants. And while he's done a ton for Canadian hockey, making him the honorary captain for Team Canada for this game is just plain tone deaf, wrote one user on social media.
The fact that this has gone on, not just, Donald Trump has threatened to issue not just tariffs, but maybe annex the country, maybe erase the country. It also featured an American team that embraced Donald Trump and that message. So this was a hockey game. Yeah, fabulous hockey game, great hockey game, lots of great players. Both teams were great. But this was, I would argue, probably the most politically significant hockey game, at least since the Summit Series in '72. And I think you could argue more significant than that.
Another user would chime in. It is a huge insult to Team Canada, to our country, and our people to have Wayne Gretzky come out to represent us. He never approached the Canadian bench, only the United States. He wore nothing to indicate he was Canadian at all. It is a disgrace. Well, the United States can have him.
Hockey fan Grant Preet has more than 7,000 signatures on a petition to change the name Wayne Gretzky Drive.
He's abandoned Canada, and I don't think that we should be, treating him as a hero by having things named after him.
A name change would have to get city approval.
Rightfully, another social media critic weighed in. This Canada as a state is getting really, really old and gross. Also, there's a lot of us up here who have soured, on Wayne Gretzky because of his association with Trump.
It's true. A lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state. They'll have to pay much lower taxes. They'll have the ultimate security. You know, they don't pay very much for security right now because they rely on us, which is really unfair to us. They make cars that we could make, and they send them back into the United States. They make a lot of things, including the sending of oil and everything. We don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. In fact, we're going to be freeing up, and I've asked Howard Lutnick to get that done with Lee and everybody, Lee Zeldin, environmental. We're freeing up our forests. We're going to be able to take down trees. Right now, you know, we're so restricted environmentally. We're going to be freeing it up with an emergency order. We have an emergency order, and we're going to be freeing up our forests. We have more forests than almost anybody, and great lumber, great trees. We don't need anybody's trees. We don't need trees from Canada or anybody else. In fact, we have to put the slits, as they call them, the area, you know, 50, 60-yard area in between areas of trees. It stops the fires.
I agree with Bruce Arthur that this felt like much more than a game, because I was going to say political undertones, but that seems as though it's a misstatement. Overtones would be the correct way of putting it. And it's all because of the president. It is all because of our president, who slapped tariffs on north and south of the border, Canada and Mexico, respectively, when he should not have done that. And going after the Canadians over and over again, basically saying that the United States will colonize Canada and will make them the 51st state. Let me just say, as an American who truly does believe in the antithesis of what Trump believes, the fact that there's so many Canadians speaking up and dissenting against this rhetoric, which is dangerous, let me be very clear. If we've learned anything from Elon doing a Nazi salute, these people who are very powerful carry loyalists, and those loyalists pay heed to their words and their actions. You have people from Montreal to Edmonton to Alberta who are saying no to this. Yet one of, if not the most famous Canadians, is saying nothing. I understand why some majority in the country would be incredibly peeved at this. Because if the guy with 12 Twitter followers is a dissenting voice, why isn't the guy who has the largest, loudest, most well-known megaphone in the country? If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.